Hello and welcome to today's tutorial with Bhori Ali. Ever since we launched the first Jesmonite video, we've had tons of artists creating some fabulous work, and they've been doing so much with Jesmonite AC100 that even we couldn't believe it. They've been doing a lot of marbling effects, but we've seen this trend in artists that are outside India that they are creating things where they actually know what's going to happen with the material. They're actually controlling their designs, which we have not been able to do till now. So we thought that let's create 1, 2 or 3 videos where we actually know what the output is going to be. So before getting into this video, we did a small trial and this is what we've created. This is a technique called paper in Jesmonite. Today we are going to try 3 different papers that are there over here. And we are also going to try one of this felt paper where we actually want to see that if it can get a different texture to the Petri dish, to the coaster. If you have never worked with Jesmonite, I suggest that you watch our workshop video, watch the 2 or 3 videos that we've done before this, so you'll get a better idea of how to use the material and what's the best way to work around it. So we have 70 grams of liquid and I'm going to just take 175 grams of powder. If you are confused on how to mix, I recommend that you watch the workshop video again, and it's going to be really helpful. And I'm going to go right ahead to mix it. I'm not using a candy stick today, I'm going to use the high shear blade mixer. This is going to make sure that I get a very uniform look and there are no bubbles, lumps in the mixture. So I have mixed the mixture, and the first paper that we are going to use is this dark pink color. I'm going to keep it very simple. So I've cut these papers in the size of this Petri dish. Now you have to just follow one simple step. You need to cut an exact size of the dish, the inside portion, and just take the design part and keep it downwards. Once you're done with this, I'm just going to create a very simple color that matches the color of this paper. So let's get ahead to mixing the pigments. I'm just going to use a simple red. Use 2 drops of red and 1 drop of white so that we get a slightly pinkish tone. As you can see, we are getting a slightly pink color similar to one of the paper. It's a little lighter, but I think that is going to give it a better effect. That's going to create a contrast between the edges and the paper. Make sure you mix it well. As you can see that we've got a very similar color. It's slightly different, but it's going to look good. So let's place the paper again. Make sure that you've covered it properly. Now while pouring, you need to make sure that the Jesmonite doesn't get underneath the paper. That's going to spoil the effect. So the best way to do that would be to pour it right over the paper in the center and let it spread out on its own. So I'm going to put it right in the center. Let the Jesmonite spread on its own. It's going to level itself out. You're not going to have to worry too much about any bubbles because the paper is going to cover most of the imperfections, but let it spread out evenly. As you can see that we've not wasted a lot of material, we've got exact proportions. And if you want to do this, we would highly recommend using the Jesmonite calculator. It's there on the Android store and the Apple store. So once we're done with this, we're just going to slightly tap it. You do not want to disturb the mixture too much. You don't want to disturb it too much because we do not want the Jesmonite going underneath the paper. So I'm going to let this one cure. So for the second one, we have this violetish purple color and we're just going to use a marbling technique over it just to give it some sort of character and effects. We have 70 grams of liquid in which we are going to put 175 grams of powder again. So there we have about 175 grams. So the thing with Jesmonite is that it doesn't have to be gram perfect like resin. A little tolerance is there, but we recommend to follow their guidelines, that is 2.5 parts of powder to 1 part of liquid. So I'm again going to mix it with the mixer. So I'm going to divide this mixture like how we generally do marbling. I want to do a violet and a white. So I'm going to pour some portion of it out. So you need to mix. I want to make a little lighter color, so I'm going to mix more of red. So I've mixed about 3 to 4 drops of red and 2 drops of blue. I hope it gives me my intended color. Oh, as you can see, it's getting this nice dark color that's going to contrast with the white, and that's going to make our marbling look good. So I'm going to mix a little white pigment into this. The natural color of Jesmonite is little towards ivory and cream. So if you want a whiter look, I recommend using the Jesmonite white pigment. So now we are ready with our 2 colors, and we follow the same step that we did before. So I'm just going to show you how to do marbling again in case you've not seen our videos before. Just take a little bit of white and mix it into the purple. So you can create what patterns you wish to create. Now we want these twirls to come near the borders. So we're going to pour on the paper but little towards the side. I'm going to hold it, and as you can see, getting a nice color towards the edges. Now once you see that the white is getting over, go ahead and mix a little more. Take a generous amount. Jesmonite is not going to blend into each other. Again, take this marbling and pour it towards the edges. And I'm just going to take the remaining mixture. As the paper is there underneath, I'm not worried. The candy stick is not going to spoil what's happening beneath on the surface. To give it a slight tap. We're just going to set this aside to cure. So now that we are done with 2, one with a solid color, one with marbling. This third one I'm the most excited for, because this is something that I've not tried before. I wanted to achieve a sort of a velvety finish so that when you use this petri dish to keep your jewelry and all, it has a sort of a soft finish. But I really don't know how this is going to react to Jesmonite, if this is going to hold Jesmonite or no. But it's going to be a fun experiment to try. So for this one, I thought that now that we are done with a solid color and marbling, let's get a little terrazzo inside and see what happens. I'm again going to mix it like before. So first I'm going to take a little bit of yellow pigment. This is just to make sure that I do not have too much pigment and I spoil the color. Also, this is a color that I'm trying for the first time. When we started recording this video, we were like, we've had a lot of standard colors, but oh my god, this color is something different. So there's not going to be too much of a contrast, but the chips are going to show. So now that I have this color, I just want to see how is it going to look in contrast with a similar green color of terrazzo chips. I want small bits of pieces because it's only going to be towards the edges, so I do not want any big pieces. And if you guys do not know, these are ready terrazzo chips that you get on the Boreali website. We have a wide range of colors. We have neon colors and we have the standard Jesmonite pigments too. If you feel that there's a color that you really need and we need to get that for you, you can just WhatsApp us on our helpline number and we'll be happy to get that color for you. So I'm just going to crush these pieces a little bit. Now you can see that I have a nice color. I feel this is not going to be too much of a contrast, but it's going to give a vivid look, and it's something that I've not tried before, so why not? Generally, we recommend that you use about 30 to 40% of terrazzo chips compared to the mixture that you're going to make in total. Make sure you have a very clean surface before you put the paper on the mold. Then you follow the same technique. I'm super excited for this one. I really want this one to work because it's going to open a whole new avenue of creations that you make. So I'm now going to slowly pour the mixture over the paper right in the center. The mixture with terrazzo chips is not going to spread as easily as the ones that we made before, to make sure that it covers every surface, because we do not want a hole or a part of the petri dish where there is no mixture. If you are not sure how to mix, how to estimate the quantity required for the mold, making sure that every part is covered. Just going to tap it slowly. Generally the pieces with terrazzo always leave some sort of bubbles, but that is how terrazzos are made. Now that I'm done tapping this and all three of our coasters are ready, I'm just going to leave this one aside, and while this one cures, probably the first one that we poured with a pinkish tone has already cured. So let's get to demolding that. Now while this one is still curing, a very good way to check if it has cured or no is just to take your nail, and if you can just scratch it, if you don't see a mark, that gives a pretty good indication that your thing has cured. This one is also done. That's the good thing about Jesmonite, I do not have to wait. So when I'm scratching on it, you can see a very clear scratch line. This indicates that your material is not cured, and if you're going to demold it right now, it is going to break probably. At Boreali, we love expanding the horizons. We love doing more and more with products. And if there is something that you have seen, some art product that you have seen that you want us to try, you want us to get to India, do DM us and let us know. That excites us the most. So let's just get to demolding this. Let's see what's happening here. This is the first look of paper in Jesmonite. Demold it carefully that you not break it, and just look at this. I thoroughly love this. This has sort of an Indian effect to it, and this can be used for so many things. It's going to add so much glamour, and I thoroughly love this. You can just see how perfect this has demolded. This paper is amazing. It has not bled, and I'd recommend about a 160 GSM paper when you are doing these projects. So this is the second piece, the one with the marbling. This is the first time I've tried marbling with paper and Jesmonite. And guys, this is just done on a small piece. You can do this, you can use this for wall panels, you can use this for furniture. It's going to look amazing. Guys, this one has turned out amazing. I really love the way the marbling has turned out. If you can see this, you can see the edges exactly how I wanted. There seems to be a small error on our side, but I think this is something that can easily be rectified. So what I believe has gone wrong in this one is that we've not cut the paper properly, and it's gone a little more, which has prevented the Jesmonite from going into the edge. So it created a very thin layer, if you can see, and that's broken off while demolding. They say that imperfections is what makes art art. So I think a simple solution to this might be that we can again put this back in and put in a little Jesmonite, and it's going to cover up our mistake. But I think I should probably do a tutorial on this and again one more video out there. Now we're going to jump into the third one. This is the most exciting one for me. This is the first time we've tried this, and I really want to see how this turns out. So I'm going to slowly demold this, just hoping that I've done this right. And as you can see that this one has no sort of errors, no sort of bubbles in it. I'm just going to demold this slowly and exactly how I wanted it. You can see that this is a Jesmonite piece, and even without the terrazzo, even without sanding it, this gives it a sort of a velvet feel. So if I was supposed to keep something on this, it would be perfect. It would not scratch it. Now one important thing that I did not mention to you all is that I tried terrazzo on this one is because if I tried terrazzo on a normal one, this is normal paper, and if I was supposed to wet this while sanding, it would probably ruin the paper. But I think felt should be fine when I sand it. So let's get to sanding it and seeing what happens. You can see that there is a slight pop of chips. We did not want it to contrast too much with the base color. But if you just have a closer look, you'll be able to see that the color is popping out. It's a little distinct from the base, but a little more sanding, and this is going to look phenomenal. So this was one small experiment that we did today, but there's a lot of possibilities to this. You can use a lot of different materials here with Jesmonite. Do let us know if you all have tried something and you all want us to cover that, or if you all want to showcase something, do tag us and you'll be featured on our Instagram page and on our website. You can use this on your bedside table, on your study desk, and I know for a lot of different applications. We hope you guys had a good time today watching this video and you got to learn a lot. I'm going to attach the links to all these different materials that we've used today in the description. Go ahead, buy it. If you have any questions, do contact us and we're going to help you out with creating more and more new stuff. Do subscribe to our channel, do press the bell icon for notifications, and do share this video with people who you feel are going to be helped by it and are going to create more. Thank you for watching this video and stay tuned for more.